Those of you that watch my channel know that the Traxxas Bandit, once it starts getting in the high 60-mile-an-hour range, it starts to have problems keeping the front end down. And that problem just gets so much worse as you get up to 80 miles an hour. And then even with a lot of weight, by the time you're approaching 90 miles an hour, the weight's just not cutting it. And you have to do some kind of Aero, at least based on my experience with the standard wheelbase Bandit. And these wings that are available on Thingiverse, they work well modified. With the stock size, it's just way too much downforce beyond, say, 75 miles an hour or so. I have plenty of videos I've done in the past. It actually will cause so much downforce that the car will spin out. The front end will push down and the back end will slide around. It's messy. So I had trimmed it down to 40% for a previous wing that I customized before. So I cut it to this line right here. And that worked okay. It certainly helped keep the front end down, but it wasn't quite enough. I mean, unless you were real gentle with the throttle, including extra weight on here, when it would get up close to 100 miles an hour, it would still wheelie, which is kind of scary at those speeds, because if you lose control, it's really bad. So what I did for the newer version that I'm running here is it's about 60% of the original size. So you can see I went out one more of these, I don't know what you call it, one more of these little things that stick out here. And that seems to probably be the sweet spot. You don't want too much frontal downforce because it will slow the car down and it'll make it handle like crap. But of course you need enough to keep the front end down. And today, granted, it wasn't on a fresh lipo and it was not at close to 100 miles an hour, but I ran it with no weight. And as long as I didn't get crazy with the throttle input, it worked well. It kept the front end down. And I think that's probably going to be the recipe to get this car to 100 miles an hour. It's really when you're going like 50 to 60, maybe close to 70 miles an hour, that you have the greatest chance of it lifting, because it still has plenty of torque to lift the front end, but the downforce on the wing isn't as strong as it needs to be to keep the car planted. And I found, like, once you start getting past 80 miles an hour, the torque of the motor is going to be coming down, and of course the downforce in the wing is going up. So at that point you're home free. It's just that 50 to 70 mile an hour range, give or take, that you really have to be careful, because you just don't have the downforce there and you still have way too much torque. So I always think of it, you want to drive with the transmitter like you have one of your testicles underneath the trigger. You don't want to squeeze it too hard, but you got to get that trigger down. So you just ease into it, and you get the idea. So be out here again, and hopefully the next time I run this thing, I'll either have a stock Valenian ESC to test out and see if I can get it to go a little faster in this hobby wing, or hopefully I'll have that XT motor in here and get it to crack 100 miles an hour, and then on to 4S, where we definitely should crack 100 miles an hour. So stay tuned for that, guys. And if someone does have a Valenian ESC laying around, I just don't have the money right now. I'm spending it on some other projects to buy one, but that'd be awesome. If one of you guys have one, you could donate to the channel. I would offer to send it back when I'm done doing a little bit of testing on the stock motor. I'd only really need to run it 2 or 3 times. The only caveat I'd have on why I might not return it is I did burn up my old one. It was a freak issue. It happened when I was just letting the car sit there getting ready for traffic to clear. hadn't run it hard within minutes, and it just burst into flames. But I'd probably done 100 speed runs before that happened. So yeah, if you guys have them laying around, great. If not, I'll get to it eventually, and maybe I'll find a used one or something. So there we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.